We ready to go? Hello there, Munchie Mafia. And it's a wonderful Monday afternoon in Western Washington. We have a little bit of everything for weather. So, sun's trying to come through finally, but it's just doesn't know what to do with itself. It's so indecisive. So, today's wine is Reader's Cabernet Sauvignon from Columbia Valley, Washington State. Bookwalter Cellars in Prosser, which is Eastern Washington. Bookwalterwines.com. Price point $15. Decided to go cheap this time. Let's see if this can actually, go up against that Figgins that I had, or the Figlia by Figgins. Little high on the cherry flavors, a little bit of smoke. Let's let it breathe a little while longer. In other words, let's forget about it. It's just okay. Anyway, so first off, what we're going to start off with is the basic bitch pie crust, which is just very basic. Yeah, basic. 2 cups of all-purpose flour. Please do not use self-rising or bread flour or cake flour, or just use regular all-purpose flour. Oh, geez. Oh, I'm sorry, Cindy. Just stepped on the puppy. Okay, so now we got 2 of that, and now we're going to get our butter. We want to make sure that our butter is super duper cold, but also at the same time, we want to make sure that it is cut up into little tiny pieces. Because the more the fat content there is, without it being all smushed together, the more steam that's going to occur, and it's going to be fluffy and flaky and all that other happy horse shit. So I got my potatoes on the back of the stove going right now. I decided to start those early because you guys really don't need to see how to boil a freaking potato. I think we're beyond that at this point, right? I mean, if you wanted, you could also use instant mashed potatoes, but keep in mind, if you do, we can't be friends. I'm kidding. So cut your butter into little cubes, and again, you want to make sure it's super chilled. We're going to need 6 ounces of butter, so that's going to be 1 stick and a half, 1.5 sticks. So now we're going to just take it. We're going to separate all those little chunks and throw it all in there. Now, this is something you don't want to overwork. You don't want to get it all, smushed together and stuff like that. You want to, just let it do its thing peacefully, so it can coexist in the pan with the rest of the goodies, because nothing quite says F you in the posterior as having a really shitty crust. So, all right. So I had to sit in on a class today. It's P&L, how to read a profit and loss statement. There's just no, streamlined method to creating those things. Every company does them a little bit differently. And I couldn't figure out what some of those little things were. Little unlabeled little things with a number in it. So you want to start with ice water, and we're gonna, now keep in mind, less is more, right? You can always add, but you can't subtract unless you want to add more stuff to it, and then you end up with far more than what you need. How many was that, Timmy? Oh, never mind. Okay, well, I guess we're gonna And we want to make sure that it's, salted pretty well. Now we don't want to over salt it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take it, we're going to mix it all together, and we're just going to kind of just crumble it a little here and there. Now, another thing that some people do is they put an egg yolk in it. It's entirely up to you. Um, I'm just going to basic bitch it. Eggs are expensive right now. So you want to just hand mix this. You can use one of those cute little dough things if you want, the dough cutters. It's got like several blades on it and it's curved, but just too lazy to reach over and grab it out of my pastry toolkit right now. Forgot to grab it. So you just mix it up. Just those very basic ingredients: flour, salt, butter, water. You can also put some seasoning in it if you want. I've seen some people do that, like paprika or something. I don't see why, because all the filling in the pie is going to be like, it's going to have all sorts of stuff. Okay, so this is, I lost track of how many, so we're just going to add just a smidge more water, right about there, about 5 tablespoons. Now remember, you can always add more as you go. You just can't subtract. Sometimes also if your humidity level is too high or too low, you might have to add a little extra, a little higher than you might not need to, because it just depends on how much actual um, liquid you've got floating around in the air. Precipitation outside can also adversely affect your baked goods. All right, so foldy, 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 mixy, mixy, mixy. And here's the other thing is, if you just don't want to deal with making your own crust, it's perfectly all right to go and buy the pre-made ones. I actually contemplated it, but then I thought, oh no, they're going to be like, what kind of chef are you, Civvy? You're using store-bought. No. We want to see you make it. We want to see you suffer. We want to see those hands cramp. So yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna put me through living hell just so that you guys can watch how I fuck up pie crust. I'm kidding. I'm actually quite good at making pie crust. Just mix it up just so, until you don't see any real whites from, just flour bits. And that's pretty much it. Now we're going to let this rest in the refrigerator for a little while, because if you try to roll it out, it's just going to smudge and smear and all this other stuff, and it's just not going to have any body to it. Now, if you don't have I had this conversation a while back on the Food Boat live in the chat about what to do if you don't have a rolling pin. Does anybody remember that one? I think they were trying to make pasta. That's what they were trying to do outdoors, and failing miserably at it. Yes, I did say that. And oh, hey, Derek, nice hair. Just kidding. Anyway, so yeah, you can always use a wine bottle. All right. But I've got like 5 or 6 rolling pins, so it's not a big deal. I've got rolling pins. Maybe I should send one to Derek. All right, let that get happy for a little bit. Size does matter, man. Size does matter. Okay. In the fridge that goes. So now I want to look at my potatoes. Let those sit. I'm using Yukon Golds just because I don't really like the starchy potatoes much. Never been fond of starchy potatoes. Let me get the rest of this garbage out of my way as well because we don't need this anymore. Now on to the goodies. I've got to move this pan that little way. Little Le Creuset knockoff. Ouch. All right, so let's give our pan a little bit of love. Wipe off this counter. All right, I don't need the recipe anymore, so we can just wipe that off. I'm not going to need the water anymore. So what you're looking for is, a pretty stiff dough. It's not going to be very stiff, but you want it to just a little stiffer than Play-Doh. All right, let's see. Who do we have in chat today? We have Main Girl and Mason, Tiger, Timmy, of course, because he's running all the stuff over there. He's doing a wonderful job. He's also trying to keep the dogs at bay. They got new toys today. Had to go to Costco. And they had this 4-pack of Kong toys. And one's a little sheep, and the other one's a frog. Maybe an alligator, I don't know. And then got a little pink monkey. This is the sheep. And the other one was a lion. And of course, they had to fight all over who was going to get what. I wanted them to pick one out. And so Dory grabbed one, and Cindy wanted that one, and they were fighting over it. And now they got all 4 of them. They're just all over the damn place right now. So what we got here, people. We also have Greg in chat, and Harvey, Andy, Marak. That's about it. It looks like. Hey guys. So, smoked paprika. Can never leave home without it. Horseradish. Flat leaf parsley. That's my salt. We got more butter. What? Yeah. That's so cute. Freaking weirdo. No, don't do that. No. She's trying to pull Leroy Jenkins through a little hole, and this cat is like 30 pounds. And he's just the most patient cat I've ever seen in my life because he's just this puppy is just beating the living crap out of him, and he just takes it. Okay, so we've got our mushrooms. We've got our mirepoix. Mirepoix is celery, carrots, and onion. I really hate throwing stuff away that I buy that I don't really like all that much. This is Organics Worcestershire sauce. It is the shittiest whatever fucking sauce it is. So this stuff sucks. Always buy Leah Perrins. Just at Leah Perrins, the store was completely out. I wasn't going to drive down to the next store down the road to go and try to find it. So they must have had some special sale. Okay, sour cream, beef broth. Come on, you guys. Frozen peas, and I've got grass-fed beef. This is 85.15. I'm gonna need some more butter because you can never have too much butter. Gonna need butter for that. Probably some butter for that too. Okay, so rolling pin, wine. Okay, we're ready for the party. So let's start first off with our veggies. So we're gonna go over here to the stove and just dump all of our veggies because these ones actually take the longest to cook or to saute up. Because their carrots are hard to break down. It takes too damn long. And let's start with that first. Onesie Women seems to really love this pack of wood spurtle that I've got. So anyway, so everybody thank Tomahawkmark for this suggestion. And this is kind of a nod to Dad Dude of the food boat. So cheers to Dad Dude. Probably nothing like what his family ate, but it's different because I put 50 gazillion ingredients in there. Okay, so we're gonna let that do its thing for a little bit. So what should we use today, guys? Tomahawk's not here, is he? Is he? I didn't see him. Oh, maybe I just didn't scroll down enough. Hey, Tomahawk, welcome. So what should we use, guys? We've got sherry, we've got marsala, we've got bourbon whiskey. I forgot to pick up a can of beer, so no beer. Let's see here. No, that's not gonna work. Let's see here. What else do I have? I've got Stave and Steel, which is one of my favorite wines. And this one is a bourbon barrel aged Cabernet. And this one is actually a California wine, but this one's actually quite tasty. So what should we deglaze the pan with today? Should we go with the Stave and Steel, the sherry, the marsala, the bourbon? Tell me, which should it be, guys? Let's see here. Marsala and bourbon. Okay. We're going to go with Andy's suggestion. So we're going to go with the marsala and the bourbon. What do you think? 2-to-1? 1-to-1? All right. This is actually really good. This one is Woodinville straight bourbon whiskey, 90 proof. And I think this is actually made here in Washington State. Yes, in Woodinville, Washington. Not far from Chateau Ste. Michelle Winery. Not that far. What do you say, about a half hour? 45 minutes? 45 minutes south of Chateau Ste. Michelle. Huh? North? No, from Woodinville. I thought they were in Marysville. Okay, never mind. They're all in the same town. Half the time I can't even find my way home, okay? Give me a break. Don't judge me, man. Mm. You know, actually, you know what? This is actually kind of growing on me a little bit. Sometimes it takes a little while longer to get it to get a little air and breathe a little bit. And this is really starting to smell really nice. Pack of wood. So what we're looking for in our vegetables is for these carrots to be somewhat softened, and the celery to be softened, and the onions to be translucent, if not just lightly caramelized. But we do want to let this get happy in the pan for a bit. Just let it do its thing without disturbing it too much. So we're just going to spread it out. This is my dad's saute pan from back when he had his restaurant. So every time I use it, I think of my dad, who was a really cool person. Couldn't understand a word he was saying half the time, but he was a cool person. Okay, let's see here. Double flavor and the acid, yes. But also, there's also going to be some Worcestershire in there as well. It doesn't really have a lot of acid in it. Oh no. Let's see. I've forgotten what this. Oh, this is mostly vinegar, but yes, but it's a different kind of acid. Acid is very important in a dish. It can help to elevate the flavors of your dish. Um, so always play around with the acid. Now there's a really good book. It's called Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat. Strongly recommend it. Now, if you're not really into beef, or if you're trying to cut back on your beef consumption, you can most definitely make this into a true shepherd's pie by using ground lamb, or you could, go with a different kind of cottage pie by using ground turkey or ground chicken. And ground turkey and chicken have a lot of liquid content, so you might want to just keep an eye on that. You might have to add a little bit of roux. We're going to add a little bit of roux just because I don't like watery shepherd's pies, or cottage pies for that matter. Okay, so we're just going to show it a little love. We're going to just tickle it around in the pan a little bit. Tickle, tickle, tickle. Shaky, shaky, shake. Scrapey, scrapey, scrape. Now, the reason why I like to use the Yukon Golds is for the simple fact that I don't like starchy potatoes much. I'm really actually not all that horribly fond of potatoes. I'll eat them, but I have to really be in the mood for them. Sorry about the noise, guys. I need to go through my gaggle of mixing bowl, one of which is big enough to give a toddler a bath in. All right. Oh, we got our beautiful Yukon Golds. I like to leave mine skin on because I like the rustic aspect to it. I really do. I probably should have gotten a bigger bowl. Bigger's better, right? Move that out of the way. That's a shitty Marsala, by the way. But I don't like throwing things away, so we're just gonna have to just deal with it. It's not the stuff that I usually get. It looks like I'm gonna have to start buying my cooking wines at the grocery store, or not at the grocery store, at the liquor stores. Okay, so when it comes to the tops of the potato, or the tops of the cottage pie, I like to make sure that everything gets some seasoning to it. There's already salt in there, but I just felt like it needed more. So now we're going to, now it's up to you if you want to actually use horseradish. I like horseradish in mine. That just didn't sound good. So that's about not quite a quarter cup. We're just gonna mashy. Now, if you wanted to get fancy, you could definitely, peel your potato so that you can have you could put it all into a piping bag with a piping tip and all that other stuff and make it look pretty. But realistically, this is home cooking, man. As much as I love bougie food, I'm gonna add some pepper to it. We're really fond of pepper, so there's that. Put that over there. Get that out of the way. And I like to use sour cream. I really like sour cream. So that's going to be, we're going to start there, see how it goes. Oh, shit. Forgot the butter. Toolbox. My messy toolbox. Where's my chef knife? All right, so I'm hearing a slight difference in the sizzle in the pan, so it's probably a good time to turn around and take a gander at what's going on. You've been doing this as long as I've been doing this. You can kind of guess how your food is cooking just by the sound of the way that it's sizzling. And I bet you that we're going to see some golden brown deliciousness. Now, where did my pack of wood thingy go? There it is. Yeah, see, we got some coloring on that. Hi, Cindy Lou Who. Hi, baby doll. All right. Leave that right there for right now. Okay, so rotate that around a little bit. We're going to throw a couple knobs of butter into this potato as well. And when I say knobs of butter, about 2 tablespoons. This is about a dozen potatoes because sometimes I actually get a wild hair up my ass to want potato. And today's kind of one of those days for me. So a little extra potato never hurt. I'm actually making enough for the two of us for a few nights meals. We also have that gorgeous, oh my god, it was so delicious. I wish that you guys could have been here. It was so good. And Viper, I promise you, before I go to bed tonight, I'm going to post that verde up on my blog and also copy it over to Discord so that you can have a copy of that. Because I was thinking about all the other ways to use all that leftover, and it occurred to me that you can also take it, put it in the middle of or put it on a tortilla, put a whole bunch of cheese on there, flip it over, and then fry it up like a quesadilla of sorts. You could do that and just slice it into quarters and have your guacamole and whatever you want. You could do that, or you could use it as a sauce for a pasta. I kind of do like a southwestern pasta dish of sorts, like with shrimp. You can also use it, like I said, as a shrimp marinade in shrimp cocktail with a nice slaw on the bottom. Maybe some green papaya or something mixed in with the slaw, and some grilled pineapple, and stick it in a martini glass and call it a day. Okay, so we got some beautiful color going on these vegetables. So we don't want them to be too colored, but we want that flavor to really come out. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our mushrooms. Throw our mushrooms in there next, because that's going to help stoke up some of the liquid from the vegetable. Add a little bit more oil to it. Sprinkle some salt in there. We're just going to let that do its thing for a little smidge. Okay, so now that we got our potatoes, we're looking for a nice texture that's spreadable. And that's a pretty good spreadable texture. Of course, absolutely, by all means, taste it. You can also add some cheese to it if you want. You want cheese or no cheese? What? You want cheese on top? You want me to top it with cheese? Not mix it with the potato? Okay. Had to ask the boss man how he would like it today. This is just rough chopped parsley. Now that we got that going, we're just going to set this aside because we don't need it at the present. So let's put that back in the cooler. Get the knife out of the way. Get this back in the cooler along with that one and these. Butter is like the new currency. They had a grass-fed butter at the grocery store or at Costco today, and it was like really super expensive. It's like it was like $10 a pound. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Does anybody actually buy that stuff? All right. So what we're looking for is for these mushrooms to, shrink down just a little smidge. Starting to get a little bit of the fond at the bottom of the pan, just from the vegetables itself. But we're not ready to deglaze the pan because we're gonna actually start adding in the ground beef here pretty soon. I'm gonna actually take the vegetables out, set them back into this thing, and then get that beef all sauteed. And when the ground beef is thoroughly cooked, then we'll add the vegetables back in and let them go on their little hot date and figure out whether or not they're going to like each other for the rest of their lives. So, gonna marry it. They're gonna get married. Shotgun wedding. All right. Go. A little bit of fond in the bottom of the pan. Okay. Now we're going to take our ground beef. We're going to just make sure that we don't get that layer thing in the bottom of it. Sometimes it's plastic coated juice collector thing. Okay, so this is 85%. That's grass fed. Sometimes going with the slightly fattier one. It's actually, oh, you know what? I did need that freaking butter. What the hell's wrong with me? My God. An idiot today. Idiot. Okay. Because we are going to make a little tiny bit of a roof. Just to help thicken it up. I don't like to use cornstarch and make a slurry for shepherd's pie because sometimes it just alters the flavor. I mean, if you have a problem with gluten and you have to do that, instead of using cornstarch, use arrowroot or potato starch. It's going to be a lot better for you. It's not going to alter the flavor much. And it's also not going to change the texture all that horribly much either. Arrowroot or potato starch. All right, so let's let that do its thing for a few moments. Come on over here and see what y'all are up to. Anybody got any questions? Let's hit what? Yes, this was meant to be a blue-collar family meal, but, I gotta bougie it up a little bit just because that's just who I am. I gotta, make my own version of it, which is perfectly fine. I mean, everybody's got their. I mean, when you think about it in the grand scheme of things, recipes are not really all that original. It's always somebody has decided to do something just a little bit different with this dish to turn it into this dish, to turn it into this dish. There's even controversy over who was, which country was it that created these mother sauces and developed all these methods of cooking. Was it the Italians or was it the French? Yeah, who cares? Just cook your food. Cook it the way you want it. make it taste great, show some love, you know. So yeah, the chicken verde was amazing though. And you know, I'm just I'm just a whore for verde sauce. Just one of my favorite things in the world is verde sauce. I mean, I could think of like 100 different things to do with that sauce. Okay, we're gonna add our garlic. We don't want to add our garlic too soon because we don't want it to burn. Because when it burns, it's just a whole mouthful of nastiness. It's like, you know, swallowing your own vomit after a hot night of binge drinking and partying at the club, you know. So, all right. So this is for the most part pretty much cooked off. Almost. We still have some pink and reds here, but I actually throw that butter in there. That's uh it's about 3 ounces of butter right there. Now we're also going to, you know, take into account the fat and liquid content of this ground beef as well. So we're just gonna say that, you know, that's about 3.5 ounces, maybe 4. But like I said before, less is more. So it's a 1/4 cup. That looks like it's too much. It's 1/8 of a cup. That looks like it's what? Okay. Flour. Oh, how about the story? Okay, so um okay, so the question was, am I moving this to a different streaming service um out of sheer frustration with what happened yesterday, which I have absolutely nothing to do with. You know, I'm just living my life and doing my own thing and not doing anything to anybody. But somehow I got roped into the middle of it. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm being vilified. I just don't care. You know, just gonna do my own thing. Namaste, motherfuckers. That's all I have to say. So, we're talking about OnlyFans, and I'm like, oh yeah, just what we need. You know, people would like pay me $5 to put my shirt back on, and I made a funny comment about how there's actually a funny story, a funny kitchen story involving that, but it's not really all that funny. And you guys probably have already heard about it because I probably have already told it once before. Um, you know, I've had these freaking cancer scares over the years. One of them just happened to be breast cancer. Um, going in for surgery to do a lumpectomy, and um, just like 5 or 6 days before I was supposed to go in for my pre-op appointment, I was that's Italian seasoning, and I always put a little smidge of nutmeg in there. Um, so I was wearing basically just about nothing on top. I think I was in like a little camisole top, and I was frying bacon. Maybe I was topless, but I ended up splashing bacon grease all up my chest. Ended up burning my tatas, including the one that was supposed to have surgery. And I thought, oh, it's just a burn. It's just a minor burn. I mean, how bad could it possibly be? Well, famous last words. I end up with this dick doctor that's like, MRSA, 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 infection, infection, infection. No, we have to cancel the surgery now. We have to wait until that's fully healed. And I'm not talking just scabs. We're talking that needs to be fully healed before I'm going to do surgery on you. Have a nice day. Goodbye. And I'm like, shit. So that's that. And but yeah, people would be paying me $5 to put my shirt back on. Nobody wants to see that. So anyway, a little bit of the paprika. Why do I have the bottle open on that? It's not ready yet. I'm not ready to do that yet. Okay, so move these over here. Now I got a bag of peas, but we're not quite ready for that just yet. I like to add those at the very, very end when we're getting ready to put them into the bowls or into the crust. Because I don't want them to turn that dark pea green like, canned peas look when you open up the can. It's like every time I see green peas that are overcooked to the point where they look like green peas out of a can, I just can't. I just freaking can't. Okay, so now we're going to splash 2 ounces of the bourbon and 2 ounces of the marsala. I think this is going to be a great dish. Fantastic suggestion there, Andy. We got a nice fond at the bottom of the pan. I don't know if you could see that. Nice, beautiful fond. I might need a little splash more. So I'm gonna let that cook off. God, it smells really good. Smells really good. I like that. All right. So now we're just gonna tossy. Yeah, we're just gonna go just a splash more. That's about 3 ounces of marsala. This is going to be one tipsy ass cottage pie, let me tell you. Not that I'm complaining any. Oh, goodness. Delicious. Okay. We might not even need to add beef stock. We just let this do its thing and call it a day. But we are going to put a little bit of beef stock in there because we just need that beef stock to help it along a little bit. Probably not going to need to put too much in there. Just maybe, half cup. Yeah, you need to go to my bar. Yeah. There's a reason why I'm not a bartender. Oh, that looks like it's about enough. Let's call the cops and have them set up a DWI station outside town. Yeah. Nobody wants to go to my bar. Although I did have my mass license for a while there. Okay, so now we're going to, at this point, we're going to just, oh, shit. Okay, well, I don't want to go that heavy. But that's okay. We'll figure it out. Improvise. Now we're going to just reduce the temperature and let all the flavors just do its thing. See how everybody's doing. Oh, cool. Andy's. We're working on Andy now. getting 50 subs. Cool deal. Yeah, please go and check out Andy Morak. I think the puppy likes it also. Huh? Oh, yeah. Sniffing air. Is that what we call it nowadays? All right. Take a gander. Also, another thing that you can do is you can throw a little smidge of your mashed potato into it, help thicken it. But that's pretty much if you're using the starchy potatoes. And when I say starchy versus waxy, oh, we're crying out loud. Shut the front door. Oh my God. I just want to go hide in a corner with that. Oh, Mother Hubbard. All right. Woo! That's some good ass. Oh my God. That's just, yeah. Fancy. All right, let's move the wine out of the way because I gotta take care of this. So I got 4 oven-friendly glass dishes by Anchor Hawking. I have no idea where I got these things. They're casseroles. They're 20 ounce. They also come with lids, but we're not going to use the lids. But the nice thing about them is that the ones that we don't eat, after they've fully cooled, we could just put the lid right on it. It's pretty cool. Plus, you have to put it in the microwave to reheat it. You just put the lid on there, and then you're not having anything just kind of just blow around all over the place, all over the tops and sides of your microwave. Not that I use a microwave, but it's okay if you do. Okay, here we go. It really does. It's just, I just set it over the top. Just, yeah. Great recommendation, Andy. Love it. Loving it. All right, so when it comes to plastic wrap and having to roll a bunch of shit, what I usually suggest is get yourself a little, I don't have a squirt bottle. I need to buy myself a squirt bottle, is to moisten the top of your workspace so that you can put the plastic wrap down and it's not gonna crumple up on you. So splashy, 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 splashy. Move that out of the way. I gotta remember to put that in the freezer. Not gonna be making anything beefy for a while. So I was at Costco today and I was this close to buying a whole sockeye salmon. The sockeye isn't the greatest, but it was wild caught. Yeah, and I don't like farm raised salmon much because all of the goodies that makes people want to eat that tasty little animal of the sea is not present in the farm raised as much as they are in the wild. All the good stuff. Okay, so you wet your surface, then your plastic wrap's not going to roll around all over the place and crinkle up and get in your way and make you cuss and scream and get all pissed off. So you got to break this into 4 pieces equally. So we'll start with this one. So we're going to just squish it down. I knew I should have bought the freaking plastic wrap that they have at Costco. I love that stuff. Big 18-inch rolls. But I want to get rid of this shit first. glad cling and seal. All right. So we're going to just roll it out. Now, one of the things about this is that it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, and I'll show you why. It's because we're actually going to take it. We just want to get it rolled out so it's nice and thin-ish, right? Because we're actually using a deep dish pan. Set that aside. Grab this. Should just come right up. Because one of the things that is a big problem when you're making pie crusts with a filling that's a little on the wet side is that you end up with something what's known as overpour in the baking and pastry world. And the overpour is when there's a crack or a seam or something or a hole that has caused the filling, the liquid of the filling, to infiltrate the bottom, and then you end up with the filling underneath, and then you end up with this crust that's less than desirable. So, and that's what's overpour. It also happens when you put too much filling in it, and it's very wet, and it tends to get underneath that crust. Now, this is not going to be like a regular pie. This is like a deep dish casserole of sorts. So we just go around and we just fix it up so that, because, the star of the show isn't necessarily the crust itself. It's the stuff that's in it and that beautiful, glorious mashed potato on the top. So, just take a gander at your crust, fill in the gaps. You don't have to put a pretty edge on it if you don't want. This one doesn't shrink so much. I mean, you can put it on there, but keep in mind this is a deep dish crust or deep dish bowl. This is what I also use for my my chicken pot pies. And then also the other thing is that you will end up with like these little little air pockets in there. So you want to just, and that's what I love so much about glass is you can actually see in the very bottom of it pasties, which are similar to pot pies. They have dry meat and potato filling inside of a thick pie. Yes, they're called pasties or Cornish pasties. They're actually very well known in Montana, and they're hand pies. They were made for the miners and the loggers to so that they could just wrap them up in a towel and stick them in their back pocket and then head off to the mines or the logging camps or whatever. And they're traditionally served with ketchup. Not so much back then, but nowadays it's ketchup. But yes, I know about Cornish pasties. I actually make Cornish pasties. I haven't made them in a while. The meat that I usually use for that is what I'll do is I'll go and get Terrace Major, which is also known as the shoulder clod. It's a tenderloin, but it has a little bit more fat than filet mignon, and so it has more flavor to it. And what I'll do is I'll mince that all up, and then brown that, and then add the small diced potato and the carrot and onion and celery, and that's pretty much it. And then you just make the pie crust, which is different from this, is that in that you actually have to use lard for those. It's much better with lard. I like to use lard and bacon fat in mine. And then you just bake them, and you bake them, and you bake them, and you bake them, and you bake them. It takes usually about an hour for them to bake. But yes, I do know how to make those. I can add that to the list of things if you'd like. But yes, Cornish pasties are actually quite fun. They're kind of like America's empanadas of sorts. Loosely. I say that loosely. But they are delicious. They are very delicious. Montana, it's a big thing. Big thing. I think it's actually one of the foods that they're best known for. Um, Cornish pasty. And those are supposed to be very basic. It's just meat and potatoes and a vegetable, usually carrot, um, celery, onion, salt and pepper, and that's it. That's all there is to it. Wham bam, thank you, ma'am. Um, Actually made some for because Timmy and I live in a historic mining town, and we had this old fart. He would go from bar to 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 bar, all day long, every day. I mean, he was like one of the founding part of one of the founding families of this little frickin' town that we live in, and his name was Skeek, and he and his wife owned a restaurant up in the hills, just past us. What was it called? The lamp something. But anyway, so huh? No. The one he owned the one up in Carbonado. He owned one up in Carbonado. He and his wife. But anyway, um, I'll remember at about 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'll be yelling at Harvey. Harvey, I remember. But anyway, so um, he would go from he would go from bar to bar to bar to bar, and one of the bars that was in the loop was the one that I used to manage, and um, he one day he asks me, or he tells me the story about the coal miners, and that's one of the things that I loved so much about living out here back in the day when these old farts were still alive. We just recently lost one about 3 years ago. He lived just a few houses down from me. He was known as the last coal miner of the Carbon Glacier and of the Carbon Glacier area. And so, um, anyway, back to Skeek. My squirrel is going a little crazy here. Good old Skeek. Um, he also owned the ice cream shop in town, which is now, I think, the Simple Goodness Sisters. They do these syrups and stuff for cocktails and whatnot. So, um, and he sold it to them, but he wanted to make sure that they held true to the tradition, so they do ice cream there too. Um, I kind of miss Skeek, but he was an interesting old fart. Drank a lot. Sometimes he would tell the same story about a dozen times in a matter of 2 hours. But he told me the story but I had already known about it because he was talking about Cornish pasties. And I'm like, I know how to make those. And it just so happened to be prime rib night. And I had smoked prime rib. And so I hacked off one of the end pieces, and I quickly put together a couple of small Cornish pasties. They weren't huge. They were just, maybe the size of a standard size wallet. Because pasties are just a little bit bigger. Um, so I took them out to him. He's like, "What's this?" I go, "They're Cornish pasties." He starts crying. And he was so happy. He was so happy. Of course, he was very drunk, and part of it was, trying to get him to, sober up a little bit, get some food in him. Um, so yeah, he was an awesome guy, and I kind of miss it because he used to scream bloody murder. He'd start telling a story, and all of a sudden his volume would just, and they did this. And it's like, holy shit, you're scaring the crap out of me, man. Calm down. He got so animated in his voice, and it was kind of scary at the same time because you just never knew, Could it be one of those that just kind of flies off the handle and just starts busting up the bar? Um, Having worked in senior living, I've seen it before where perfectly all right person gets a little bit of alcohol, and all of a sudden it's like they're busting up the uh, nursing director's office with a fucking golfing umbrella and busting up 100 bottles worth of hot sauces that the nursing director had collected from all over the world, and having to be taken out in a gurney with tie downs to the geriatric psych unit. After that, it was pretty sad, pretty scary, pretty bad. But he was pretty harmless. I mean, everybody in town loved him. He was just a really cool guy. We all kind of kept an eye on him, made sure that he wasn't getting himself into any trouble. And I want to say that he went to retire. Oh, he went to retire in Arizona with the rest of his family, I believe. And he just died recently, which was really strange because you know you would have thought that he would have pickled his liver enough to the point where he would have died years ago. But some people are just resilient that way, I guess. Oh, there goes the pillow. All right, so this one's going to be a little bit of a long live because we also have to bake these bad boys off. Now, when you top these with cheese, should you decide that you want to top them with cheese, you want to make sure that you put them on, or put the cheese on after they're pretty close to being done. Now, if you wanted to also par bake your crusts, in case you weren't quite sure that you got it thin enough, you could do so. Okay, go out for a minute. I'll be here. I'm on number 3. And so if I wanted to change it, all I would have to do is just go over there to the ATEM and hit what button? Hit auto. Down to the table. Okay. Oh, okay. So anyway, getting a crash course in how to run the ATEM. By the time that I make it over there, I'll probably have already forgotten. So Harvey, that's funny. Oh, yeah, the good old days. I'll never forget that same bar. I'm just in the kitchen minding my own business. We got live music in and got a bunch of drunks out in the wine or in the beer garden. And they're trying to coax a skunk into the bar. And they managed to get the skunk in the bar and didn't say anything at all to anybody about the skunk being in the bar until the bartender was walking through the dining area to come into the kitchen area and noticed that there's a skunk that's, eating the floor food. That was not fun. One of the bad things about living out in a rural area is some of the treacherous wildlife. Just what I needed. Go to work, mind my own business. Next thing I know, I'm smelling like skunk because this thing sprayed all over the place. They were trying to get it to spray out in the beer garden, thinking it was really funny. And it's like, no, don't do that. You guys are stupid. Okay, so now we got all of our crusts going. This has been simmering for quite a while. Oh yeah, see, that's just glorious. I don't know. You said number 3, right? Hit the auto and then number 3. No. Let's see here. I'm trying, guys. No. Okay. Yeah, I need some more lighting over there. Okay, so I'm trying to figure this out. Sorry. Okay, so we're going to come over here anyway. So take this off the stove. Bring Mr. Trivet over there. I'm going to start filling these up. Okay. Let's see how we're doing. See if I need to move the table over. No, it doesn't look like it. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of just move it around a little bit because we want to make sure that all that beautiful. I mean, look at that. Is that gorgeous or what? Now, if you wanted, you could add other things in here, like if you wanted to add turnips or something, you could definitely put turnips in there. I'm not much of a fan of turnips. Is there an easy way to open this bag, or do I need to find a 12-year-old? All right. 2 is the stove. Thank you, Timmy. Love you. With a baseball bat. Oh, did I say that out loud? Oh, Tourette's. My Tourette's. I'm kidding, Timmy. Just joking, Timmy. No, put down the baseball bat. No, please don't. Okay, so here we are. I'm a little spicy today. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, look at that. And then we get the peas in there. It's gonna be beautiful. So anyway, back to pasties. Yeah, you don't put ground beef in there. It's supposed to be like stew meats, the heartier meats. You can even do venison, but I don't know. Not all that fond of Bambi inside things like that. So I would want to doctor it up. So these are 20-ounce bowls. I don't know what the hell possessed me to do this, because it's like, yeah, maybe Timmy might be able to eat that, but I don't know if I guess I could just eat half and then put the other half in the fridge, and we can have them for 8 days or 4 days actually. But we still have the enchilada casserole to go through, which, this is basically enough meals for till next week, because we have no problem eating the same damn thing over and over and over again. So I could not remember for the life of me what the frickin' corn was. It goes in a pozole, and I remembered it at like about 11 o'clock last night. It is hominy. Hominy goes into pozole. And so, that's the other thought was, do I use up the leftovers and show off a pozole? Or do we do something else with it? I don't know. So this was roughly about 2 pounds of ground beef, by the way. Actually, 1.5 pounds of ground beef. Not quite 2 pounds. And then 2 carrots cut brunoise, 1 whole onion, which I kind of wish I would have done more onion, because, less is more in some instances, except for when it comes to onion. Rob Peter to pay Paul here. All right, there we go. So now we just kind of level that out, give it a tappy. Now I need to just figure out how the hell I'm going to get all that on there. So we're going to get spatty spat. Spatty spats. I'm going to take our potato. We're going to check to make sure that it's not too dry, but also not too wet at the same time. Just take it. We're just going to plop it over the top. Spready, spready, spready. Just like so. And that's how we make donuts. I'm kidding. Oh, and did I mention that Greg, we chose the chicken enchilada casserole per request of Greg. He was one of the ones that answered the poll on Discord. We decided we were going to honor him by making that. I don't remember if I said that during the live yesterday. Things were a little bit of a chaos, much to my dismay. So look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? We don't want to press too hard or too much onto it. Just enough to, get that layered down, or else some of the juices will seep back up into it. You're going to want to use a pan to put these on so that they don't bubble over into your bottom of your oven, potentially cause a fire, cause a stink, set off fire alarms, cause your spouse to cross dress, whatever. So I'm not sure if I want to bake both of them, all four of them off tonight, because we're definitely not going to eat all four. But so these are like huge, hungry person size. There's extra mashed potato, 20 ounce. Because what I originally wanted to do is I wanted to use my ramekins that are these ones here. By the way, I have a fetish for French white ramekins for some reason. I literally have hundreds of these damn things. So that is like 8 ounces, 10 ounces, 8 ounces, 8 ounces. And, that would be a normal person size. Or you could just bake it as one big pie if you want. But like I said, we don't generally have a lot of people at the house because we're empty nesters. So what will ultimately happen is I'll get these lids and I'll put them on top of these ones, let them do their thing. It's like so. I can stack this one on top. And then those can just go in the fridge for tomorrow, or let's see, no, today's Monday, so that would probably be Wednesday. But as you can see, it's starting to steam, so we're going to actually take these lids off and let them chill down, because botulism. Okay, so into the oven we go. Now this is a pan that I don't really care about, so I don't care if it gets all screwed up. But if you only have pans that you care about getting screwed up, I highly recommend using the either parchment or foil line or whatever. Okay, so I hit the auto again, and it goes back to the stove. Okay. Oh, freaking. All right, now what, Timmy? 3. And hit auto. Hey, there. I did it all by myself. Yay. Ah, I did it all by myself. I get a gold star. So let's check out. Thank you. I I like to just press it in there because, we're not actually making a pie, so I don't do that with pies. I actually roll it out and take the time to do that. But it is a little on the warm side in this kitchen today, so rolling out pies is just going to cause me to want to cry. Um, yes, those mini casserole dishes are the 10-ounce ones. I think that Anchor Hawking also makes smaller ones and also larger ones. So they come with the lids. I don't even remember where I bought them, but they came as a 4-pack with the lids. I used to have a lot more of them, but I haven't been able to find them um, in a while. They're not the Pyrex ones. Pyrex ones I don't like to buy because when they break, and they're just all over the place and they'll ruin your day. So um, that usually takes about 40 minutes. So I don't know how we're gonna do this. If we're gonna hang out for another 40 minutes or what. Um, so I was really hoping to have a whole bunch of stuff pre-prepped and do a pre-live prep. And then I was like, well, let's just do a premiere. So it just didn't. I had a lot of stuff to do today. Um, hey, 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 leave him alone. He doesn't want. Oh my gosh, they're so cute. They're just over here wrestling around, and he's being so gentle. He's a 30-pound cat. Okay, let go of her ear. Let go of her ear. If she squeals, anyway. So did did we figure out what we want to do next week? I don't know. Pyrex and Pyrex, yeah. No, I did not know that, Tiger. Hey, let go of her head. My God, he's got her entire face in his mouth. Come on. Don't make her squeal. Don't make her squeal. He's trying to play a little on it. Well, she's trying to also kick him in the face, too. Come here, Cindy. Come here. Come here. You want to say hi to your fans? You want to say hi to your adoring fans? Come here. Oh my God. Oh my God. She's just so hyper. Come here. Come here, you. Come here, you. Come on. Say hello to your adoring fans. Say hello. Hi. Yeah. Hello. So she's 17 weeks old now. Yeah, and she's now into her extra small sweater that matches Dory's. She's got a little bit to go before she's grown into it. And we added extra bells on her so she jingles because we don't ever know where she's at and she's just being so crazy. Yes, crack puppy, aren't you? Yes, you are. You're a crack puppy. Say hello to everybody. Yes, you say hello to everybody. Hello. So there she is. Oh shit. Thud. Whoops, sorry. Worst pet mom ever. So I think that we're probably going to torment the living hell out of poor Tiger and bring out the ice cream maker next week. And this kitchen smells so freaking delightful. Mm, probably should have put more salt in that. You can really taste the horseradish though. It's gonna be delightful. So egg foo young, that could be fun. That could be a lot of fun. I haven't, my dad, one of my dad's cooks, his name was Emil. And he was from the Philippines. and he used to live up in Renton Highlands. He was a sweet old guy. Every time he would come over when I was a kid, he would come over and visit my dad, or whenever they had a poker party or something, he always made me shrimp egg foo young. Before it was shrimp egg foo young, it was crab egg foo young, but then I became allergic to it. That's how I found out that I was allergic to Dungeness crab specifically. The other ones will kill me slower, but that one will kill me pretty quick. I don't know why. And I was probably about 8 years old at the time, and he came over to make this crab foo young, and it was so delicious. It's like I always loved it when Uncle Emil came over to visit, and because he always made it for me, even all the way up until my early 20s. It's like I would go and visit my dad, and um, my dad always my dad always told him when I was going to come and visit him, and all the way up until I was in my 20s, he would come over and visit, and he always made it for me. But he had to switch to shrimp because I became allergic to crab, and but it was so good. It was one of those things I just absolutely freaking adored. That with my dad's fried rice. My dad's fried rice was like the best fried rice ever. And that's what I used to have for breakfast every freaking morning when I was a kid was this fried rice with this beef gravy over the top of it and a egg sunny side up. Hey, 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 what are they doing? Arguing. Well, I can hear that they're arguing. Um wow. That's a pretty It's a pretty nasty arguing. She's vicious. She's a vicious little puppy. For a little tiny 4 pound thing, she can put up a pretty good wallop to the dogs. But anyway, so back to this egg foo young. It's like, oh god, it was so good. But my dad used to make me mocha loco for breakfast, and it's fried rice and hamburger gravy and egg and on top, and then I would what?
Cindy had her pinned up against the door.
Oh my god!
What are you doing?
Well, stick her in her crate. No, we don't want to do that. She'll start barking. Just maybe stick her on a leash. Keep her in the kitchen. Um, Pork egg foo young is really good too. Um, Especially if it's barbecued pork. I haven't made that in a long time either. So we will visit that idea because I like that idea a lot. It's been ages. I mean, it's basically a Chinese omelet of sorts when you think about it. No, who the hell puts broccoli, peas, and carrots in egg foo young? It's supposed to be onions and bean sprouts and whatever meat and call it a day. I mean, no, 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 uh-uh, no, just no. Woo woo woo, woo woo woo. She's learning to bark, which sounds like she's a beagle or something. But New York style fast food does it the wrong way. Never been to New York, so I don't know. Yeah, it's supposed to just be bean sprouts, onion, egg, a little bit of garlic, a little bit of this and a little bit of that as far as seasoning goes, and a meat of some sort, and call it a day. And then the sauce that goes over the top of it. I personally like mine on the side, so I can just dip it. I love fried rice. Fried rice is amazing. But that chicken cordon bleu that we made the other day, that was just totally obscene. I was really hoping to have some leftover rice pilaf to make fried rice out of it, but nope. We ate that whole damn thing up. A couple days later, it was like, oh god, this is so good. Um, because the following day, after the chicken cordon bleu, we did chicken marsala. So it's like we were going to see. I was wondering who was going to be fighting to the death over who was going to get what, and I think we ended up ordering out the next day. I think we ordered out for burgers or something, and then the following day we just hit that leftovers hard. I mean, both of them were wiped out by the time all was said and done. I don't even think there was even a scrap of noodle left, let alone enough rice to do a small fried rice of some sort. So that's pretty much that. New York style is a storefront takeout places. Yeah, Andy, you get it. Bean sprouts only. Onion too, but it's kind of a given. Um, yeah, just I don't know. People are weird. It's got to be green onion too. You put the whites of the green onion in, but it's got to have that to add color. Scallions, spring onions, whatever you want to call them. Yeah, the mashed potato definitely needs salt. So, anyhow, have you guys seen Leroy Jenkins? He's kind of hanging out over here. He wants his dinner. He's so big. He really is so big. Area flower blossoms are now, I heard. What? Tiger, that can you rephrase that? English? Your area flower blossoms are now, I heard. What? I don't get it. But we do have a lot of blossoms happening right now. I just don't know about the tulips. I haven't looked. This wine is starting to actually grow on me. It's a 2022 Cabernet. Bookwalterwines.com. Prosser. That's what my ex used to say, but I think she was lying. Oh, interesting. Let's see, we put those in, what, 15 minutes ago? What we're looking for, this is why I like to use glasses. We can see how the crust is doing and see if it's starting to get some color to it. Oh, the tulips, yes. Tulip Festival. Yeah, it's been a while since I've been out there to Skagit Valley. Skagit Valley is just absolutely gorgeous. And then there's the daffodils that are supposed to be down in Puyallup, but all the farmland that used to grow tulips, it's pretty much no longer anymore. Used to drive up Highway 410, and all you could see was daffodils, as far as the eye could see, just blanketed with beautiful yellows and whites. Not anymore. It's really kind of sad. About what, Harvey?
on an organ.
Oh, tulips on an organ. I see. Okay. We're going there, huh? Yeah, daffodils used to be our could have been our state flower. Should have been our state flower. What is our state flower? Rhododendron. That's right. The world's slowest oven. So it's okay, TRP. You can always catch it on replay. It's all right. Hello, TRP. Welcome. I'm just eating mashed potato with horseradish in it. And this is what a raw one looks like, by the way. These ones will get baked off tomorrow at 2. Or not tomorrow, but we'll probably alternate between that and the chicken thing, which was really good. So I don't know what to do with the leftovers. Should I make a pizzole, or should we do something else with it, like maybe a creamy southwestern chicken pasta salad, maybe? Or what do you think? What do you think we should do, Harvey? Since the verde thing was like you were all over that, why don't you pick something? What should we do with the leftovers? We got quite a bit of leftovers, about a little more than what we got for mashed potato. Even if it's just make some quesadillas, man. That's fine too. But what do you think we should do? Should we do like a chicken pasta salad with the rest of it? Yeah, I know Greg chose it, but Harvey was all about the verde yesterday. So since Greg chose it, maybe Harvey could choose what we should do with the leftover. Not the actual casserole leftover, the filling leftover is what I'm saying. We could do a pizzole, we could do a pasta salad, we could do a hot pasta dish even, add a little bit of heavy cream, and maybe I'll try to find some manchego and do that, or fancy grilled cheese sandwiches, or fancy quesadillas, or something. What do you think? Or no, I don't want to encourage that. Never mind that one. Just forget I even thought about that one. Never mind that. Um all right, I'm just gonna say it. Stuffed peppers with the chicken. Um Maybe add some rice to it and make stuffed peppers or something. What to do with leftovers, which actually would work really well as a stuffed pepper. It'd probably even taste better than a stuffed pepper. I don't know about you, but I'm not a fan of stuffed peppers. It's like eating mushy meatloaf with some rice in it stuffed into a pepper. At least to me it does. So Andy says soup. We can either do a chicken tortilla soup or pozole or something. And I'm really addicted to these mashed potatoes. I'm all about the mash today. I can't help it. It's good. It needs more salt though. Got a little bit of sweetness to it. I don't know where it's coming from. Probably a potato. That's the only thing I can think of. Stuffed peppers. It does sound good though. Kind of like a naked chili relleno of sorts. I actually have a picture. I think I posted it on the Discord. It was a pizzole that I had made, pizzole verde that I had made at one of my former places that I used to work at. It was very popular. And it looked very pretty. Um, didn't look very green, but it had a green hue to it. So, but it's just all about the flavors of the tomatillo and all that other stuff that was in there. It was really, really, really delicious. I'm starving to death. It would turn out really good, Harvey. It really would because that verde sauce is so versatile in that you can put it with just about anything, including pasta, which I think that's when I developed my love affair with verde was at this restaurant back in the mid 90s in Reno. I don't even remember the name of the restaurant, but it was in one of the hotels, one of the new hotels. I can't remember which hotel it was, but it was. But the restaurant's not there anymore. Anyway, they had this this creamy verde pasta dish with rock shrimp and sun dried tomato. Then it had cotija and the manchego cheeses sprinkled over the top of it. I want to say that it was angel hair, which I don't really care much for angel hair, but this was pretty freaking delicious. It was just a creamy verde sauce of sorts with lots of little shrimps in it, and it was really tasty. It was very tasty. It was probably one of the best dishes I had had in a very very long time. At that point, and so for it to be put with a pasta is pretty cool. So you can the verde, you can use it for any kind of protein really. You can use it with shrimps, lobster. I never tried it with scallops before, but you can also, put a put a bunch of it into some clam stock and with some steamer clams and a bunch of different peppers, um, and then sprinkle a little bit of cayenne on that, and just serve it with a bunch of fresh corn tortillas that have been grilled off and nice and not fully crispy, but they got a little bit of crispness on the edge to it, so you can have it for dipping. You just kind of fold it over and dip it, and you know have this beautiful clam dish. Spaghetti squash is nice. It's interesting. Oh, nice. Yeah, chicken salsa verde pasta. That sounds just like what I had. You know, had a little bit of heavy cream to it, and it was topped with sun-dried tomato and what?
Nothing. Stop.
Oh, um, and some lost my train of thought. Anyway, but it was delicious. You could even throw some chorizo in there and call it a day. But that's get some pictures of that, Harvey. I would love to see that. I would love to see that because I'm really I have this horrible love affair with verde. It's like one of the favorite one of my favorite things that I love to eat. I mean, I could pretty much eat that every day in 50 gazillion different ways. And come to think of it, I used to make it for my residents as a chilled shrimp cocktail dish. Served it in a wine glass and had some baguettes that were served along with it. And they were like so thrilled about that. They really loved that a lot, and it had like a slaw at the bottom, and a little bit of pureed mango mixed in with the slaw dressing. Oh, it was so good. Because that's one of the things about salsa verde is that it it can be paired up with some of those tropical fruits, uh, and work quite well with that. Wow, that oven's hot. Yeah, I do that too sometimes, and I was so tempted to buy that freaking salmon today. Saw the price, I'm like, oh my god, that's not even going to be available next week. So I can't even plan ahead for that because it's like they're not going to have that next week at that price. It was a like cheap. I mean, it's like cheaper than steak, you know, which is weird. But then again, it's sockeye. It's not like, you know, um, it's not the Copper River or anything like that, which I'm sure that, it's going to be like really up there the first week, and then it'll drop down in price to basically, you know, it could be cat food price shortly thereafter because they always hit the first off the plane pricing at like 30 something odd dollars a pound, and then about a week or two later it's like it's down there at like $7. And yeah, it may not be as nice and as pretty as the first ones that came off the plane, but um it's still Copper River salmon nonetheless. And to be honest, I really can't tell much difference in flavor. I mean, the only difference that I could tell is the color of the salmon meat. It's a bright freaking Oompa Loompa orange, as opposed to a pink or a red. But a lot of the times, a lot of these salmon, it's like they're they're coloring it to enhance the color. So it just makes me kind of mad because just leave the salmon as it is. Don't do all these weird shit to it. So, but yeah, I want to see a picture of that. Please take a picture, Harvey. I would love to see that. Post it up on the foodies picture section so we can all gawk at it and on. Don't forget to give your friend a shout out. And speaking of shout outs, should probably give everybody shout outs, huh? So, um, Captain Brian and Main Girl and Mason all have their 50, so they're good to go. Um, but please go ahead and visit their pages and or their channels and go and click the like and subscribe to them. And we got some newbies that are looking for their 50 in order to be able to do mobile live, and that's Robert Pelling. Uh, that what is it? That guy. Anyway, his is on my channel links. And then there's also um, shit, forgotten. Anyway, we got the Shark Fam. They're on there. Oh, Eric Roland. Eric Roland. Keep thinking his first name should be something else. Because I know another Roland, but his name wasn't Eric. It was Arliss. So I was thinking Arliss. Then we also have Andy Morak as well. That's also got a channel up and going, and is looking for his 50. And also, we can't forget Harvey, aka Viper, um, who's done some really, really cool stuff with some Cajun stuff recently. He did an etouffee and he did a gumbo, and freaking amazing. And the story that went along with the gumbo, you got to watch. Take some tissues with you because it is a little bit of a tearjerker. I'm so proud of you, Harvey. So very proud of you. I just want you to know I'm proud of you. Um, so go watch his video on gumbo. Um, and then let's see here. We also have the food boat who was in earlier, but I think he's ducked out for the night because he is 3 hours ahead of us. So this one was a subtle nod to Dad Dude, and also a request by Tomahawkmark. So, and also collaborated by Andy Marak. Or yeah, let's do both the bourbon and the Marsala. So yeah, that bourbon that I used is called Woodenville, and you can actually get it through Costco. I'm not sure if you can get it elsewhere. It might be one of those Costco labels. We're gonna take a looky at our beautiful works in progress here. So at this point, let's take a look. So what we're looking at is wanting to see what the crust is doing. This is why I like glass, so that I can take a look at it, because it looks like it's actually doing pretty good. Oh, wait a minute, where are we? Okay, let's stay over here. Huh? Oh, you're coming back? Okay, got better lighting over here anyway. So anyway, so this is looking like it's starting to get a little on the crispy side. We need the top one. Can we have the top one, the top camera? Oh, okay. Oh, there we go. It's a rainbow. Taste the rainbow. Okay, so as you can see, it's starting to turn a little golden, but what we're wanting to look at that's going to be most concerning to us is what it's going to look like on the underneath side. So it's just starting to actually, let's see here. We're starting to see some color happening, but we're not quite there yet. So we're actually looking at probably another half hour or so. And I'm sure that, y'all have better things to do. So what I'll do is I'll just bring this over. We're just going to pretend it's done. I'll stick them back in the oven, and I'll get out the Nikon and actually take some pictures of what they look like. So that's what that looks like. We'll just pretend it's all done, because it is getting to be 7 o'clock in the evening, which is 10 o'clock at night. I know some of y'all have to go to bed. So we got another probably about 20 minutes to a half hour on this. I wish you could have one too. I wish I could send one to everybody. I wish there was such a thing as smell-o-vision. And there isn't, unfortunately. So what I'm going to do for right now is I promise I'll take some pictures later after they're all done. I'll even stick a spoon in there and scoop some out so you can see all the nice pretty colors of the filling and everything else, and maybe do a short and throw it up there so that y'all can see it. So it is getting to be that time, and I think I might be a little schnockered off the wine. That one's a little strong, but then again, I also have an empty stomach. All I had was some seaweed crackers earlier. Oh, and oh yeah, the onesie women. We can't forget about the onesie women and Mama Jones. So shout outs to Mama Jones and onesie women. And welcome, Becky. I hope that your first day was wonderful, and hope it wasn't your last day. So that's all good. So, Munchie Mafia, we will catch you on the flip side. But always remember, please always cook with love and eat with passion. Thanks for the support, everyone. Have a good night. Bye.